All right, we're back in the studio, and we're on the final lap here as we go. And so this is a part I always enjoy because we don't have a heavy agenda. We have the ability to talk about whichever way our thought process leads us, which generally works better with my style. But I've got my ever-faithful co-host, Lauren Malhoit.
Hi, Rob.
Glad to have you back. We've been running in opposite directions all day long. It's pretty much matching our week. And we've got someone with us here from the Cisco Champions program. Paul, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you, Rob?
Very, very good. Now tell me, so first of all, and I know we do this every year, but just to make sure, what is a Cisco Champion? Seems a little bit haughty to me, a little bit full of yourself. Are you full of yourself?
I'm an egomaniac.
Perfect.
I just.
You're going to fit in well.
Cisco Champions are a group of individuals who are very passionate about technology and are simultaneously very socially active.
Okay.
We're very engaged in sharing our views and sharing our knowledge with the community. So Cisco Champions are commonly found tweeting, writing blogs, shooting video and putting it up on YouTube, contributing to Cisco communities, and things like that.
All about the content.
Yeah. No, so smart and promiscuous is what I heard you say. Hey, before we go too far, okay, so you don't work for Cisco. The whole idea is that we are all certainly Cisco champions, but everybody expects that. Hello.
Sure.
But you don't necessarily have to champion Cisco, but you're well invested. This is, you're highly certified, you're a voice expert, CCIE, you work as an architecture engineer?
Solutions architect, yes.
Solution architect, thank you very much. So, but before we get into the technology side, you were telling me a story, and I didn't get a chance to hear the ending, about beards, and just kind of a twisted way in which Spark was being used. Do you mind refreshing me on the beard thing?
So, I am a CCIE, as you said, but I'm also a Spark ambassador, and Spark ambassadors is very similar to Cisco Champions in so much as we're evangelists, and I'm an evangelist for Cisco Spark, as are many other people, and a particular gentleman, John Stearns, I'm looking at you, came up with this idea that in addition to ambassadors, we should be Spark Beards. We should have a special club. So
it sounds dangerous, actually.
Yeah, well, we're dangerous guys.
Yeah.
So there's a whole subset of Spark
Danger
ambassadors who are Spark Beards.
So if I get like a knitted beard or something, could I join?
Viking caps count.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Count. Nice, yeah. No, because I don't think this is not an exclusionary group whatsoever.
No, not at all.
It just started with a facial hair thing and such as well. And I think we were arguing whether or not I'd even qualify because I'm overdue for a trim.
You need to fill in between the sideburns.
There's other reasons, yeah. Maybe not smart enough, yeah. Nonetheless, no, thanks for everything that you do, because let's make sure, I don't know if we had it in the lower third, I wasn't able to watch. What's your Twitter handle? How can people follow you?
@DreamlessOD is my Twitter handle.
Okay,
it's a little weird.
DreamlessOD?
Yeah, it's an old school video game thing, so we're not going to go into that. Yeah.
Well, nice, a nice reference. I won't go into that.
You can't change
then.
it. It's impossible to change. Paul Giblin is taken.
You'd have to
I know,
restart everything.
Yeah.
I had to add another B to mine just to keep my name.
It's like getting a bad tattoo as a young man.
Oh, God. Okay, let's not go into the tattoo subreddits. Lauren, you've been busy today. We had a launch officially. We're a little bit confused on when this whole container thing was going to come out completely. You guys were talking about it a little bit, because I think it's kind of a neat deal. I wonder if you might explain a little bit about what's happened today with containers and why it's interesting.
Yeah, so before we were kind of generically referring to it as a container thing that came out with HyperFlex, but Cisco Container Platform, basically, it's a way to make working with things like Kubernetes and then Linux or Docker containers, it's not as turnkey as one might imagine. There's a lot of moving parts to Kubernetes, a lot of moving parts to microservices, and so what Cisco's done with the container platform is to actually make it more turnkey. Basically, you deploy an OVA, let's say from vCenter. A lot of admins are really familiar with how to do that already. It's pretty easy. And then you have a management IP. You just go to that GUI, and you're up and running. Basically, you fill out a wizard type thing, and then you can start deploying Kubernetes masters, clusters, and then of course worker nodes, so that you can scale out and scale in the containers themselves.
Now, Paul, are you familiar with containers? Have you done any playing with those? Do you work with them much?
Casually, I do not work with them much, no.
So I'm curious, I'll address this to both of you, and either one can jump in here. But I'm just curious, let's start with you, Lauren, and then you tell me if you're comfortable echoing anything here.
Or if I say something wrong, just be like,
you're
an idiot.
I'm going to jump in.
That's why you're seated together. Do you think, obviously we doubled down on supporting Kubernetes and Docker, Those are pretty safe bets the way the market's been looking in terms of support. We refer to these as being a way to build cloud-native applications, because now things, when we create an application in that environment now, it can run seamlessly between on-premises or in the cloud. Well, that's going to start a whole other argument between us. Not argument, me learning. And do you think this is helping maybe this type of thing when we then put the platform on to help tie in infrastructure, tie in storage, and make things a little bit easier so you don't have to know all the nuts and bolts of Kubernetes, which it's not always that easy. Do you think that's the kind of thing that's going to help container adoption on a broader basis?
Absolutely. I mean, if you just look at the history of computing, right? I mean, we were building our own computers back in the day, and everything's a snowflake, and every computer is different. And now it's just, you buy your computer or your server from hopefully Cisco, but it could be from anywhere. And it's just a lot easier. They're pre-configured things done for you. The same with how networks work, right? It's not all a snowflake anymore. And this, again, kind of templatizes how things work. Not everyone needs to be different. Of course, there are configurations that are more optimized for various companies, but this absolutely kind of blurs that line of who can do things. More of a systems engineer than, say, a network engineer, a microservice engineer. I don't even know if that exists, honestly, but that's my feeling. And I absolutely think that it makes it easier, and really, why does it have to be hard?
Yeah, and I'm curious, do you have thoughts on the container?
Yeah, so I mean, it's what Cisco's all about. It's the continued pivot towards being an app-centric company, right?
Yeah.
And you want to make that easy. You've got traditional infrastructure folks who are trying to find their way in the new world of DevOps and net DevOps, and this whole move is going to make that a whole lot easier for them to digest. There's not as much for them to understand or comprehend, because as you had said, building out Kubernetes is not easy.
Yeah.
Right. So. It's about making it simple.
Adoption's going to be good, and obviously I think from what I'm hearing on our strategy this week, we need to make those type of things easier, because it's all about building back that base of where we're trying to go with all the rest of our cloud strategy and such.
Well, and keeping up with innovation. So if we're not spending all of our time learning about every single part of a Kubernetes cluster or something, let's standardize that, and let's innovate so that we have better, faster go-to-market applications that serves both our customers, that serves our bottom line. I mean, I hate to be the bottom line girl, but truly that's how we're all paid and how we stay in business.
Not sure where to go with that one. All right, you can be whatever you need to be. Paul, when you're with a week at Cisco Live and such here, it's not your first Cisco Live. Curious, what are you doing here in terms of what's your day-to-day? I don't mean that like, what the hell are you doing? I mean it more of a, sorry if I say that.
We're in Europe.
Yeah, but what do you accomplish? Are you attending classes? Are you teaching? Are you meeting up with customers?
Some of it is around the social activity. So participating in Cisco Champions events, trying to drive the social aspects. Part of it is participating in Spark Ambassadors.
It's a drinking crowd.
Yeah, a lot of it's drinking, just to say,
water.
Getting completely hammered.
Yeah, water, yeah.
Staying hydrated.
Most of the day, I'm spending time in the walk-in labs.
Okay.
I just came out of the Innovation Center, so I'm hearing about what's new and upcoming. And I'm also spending a lot of time in DevNet. I can't stress enough how important DevNet is as a program for helping people get to where they need to be to stay relevant in the coming job market.
I was listening to Susie Wee's talk, her innovation talk today, and it was all about the rise of the network APIs, right?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of application developers out there that know totally what they're doing, know how to develop code and all of that, but they're surprised to hear that you can actually code the infrastructure, right? And the way that it all works together then actually optimizes how the applications work. So Fastlane, of course, we covered on TechWise. That's an example of, hey, why isn't my application working? It's not the network and it's not the phone. It's the fact that we're not developing the app for the network or the network for the app.
Yeah, we can't keep operating in these separate domains, and the two can really help each other. And I am so blown away with what DevNet has continued to I don't even know how to express it in a way that just doesn't sound so so fanboyish, because it's
I feel like such a fan.
Because it's
like
really
brown nosing or something.
Yeah, because I mean they've really grown it once again, and all the people. It seems like everybody in DevNet's cool, and then when you see the sessions, because they're so educationally focused, what I'm curious about from your perspective, Paul, is where do you think the standard? Let's say if you were to stereotype the typical Cisco person, customer, hands-on technical engineer perhaps, would you say that the stuff they're doing in DevNet is beginner level? Because what amazes me is I think everybody knows some of this stuff, but then I go in and I see that the introduction to REST API course is over there and it's packed. But now at the same time, they're getting into much deeper stuff. They added Kubernetes classes, the
Google
Sandbox
stuff.
is doubled and tripled.
There-
You know, where do you
there's
think it's falling on the continuum?
Yeah, there's content for all kinds. I know I started cutting my teeth with deep dev stuff last year, the year before that, you know, and I'm starting to try and build content for my internal teams. And a lot of the stuff that I'm trying to get back to them is content that I picked up here. You know, there's intro courses, so a lot of it is very, very approachable. So even if you haven't written a line of code since high school or college, you're going to be able to sit down in one of these sessions and get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
Likewise, for people who have a coding background, maybe they're comfortable with Node.js or they're comfortable with Python, they're going to be able to sit down and they're going to be able to learn about specific applications that they can develop too. And you know, those go much deeper than an intro course would. So I think you've got content for everybody in there.
And it feels like, Lauren, that it's about learning not learning another language in the formal sense of obviously there's languages involved here, but it does feel like you're thinking differently once you start going down this route, but yet that thinking differently makes it possible to develop in a way that's a much more team approach, and we're not developing on these silos or...
You know, they actually introduced a new thing in DevNet this year called the Design Zone or Design Center.
Yeah, Design
or
Thinking.
Design Thinking.
I saw that booth.
Yeah. So they're trying to teach the way of thinking even.
Oh, I might be able to handle that one.
To you know, depending on what kind of vertical you work for or what kind of problems you're trying to solve. Because I think you're right that it is a different way of thinking than just, hey, I need to put together infrastructure and make that work. And of course, there's design involved there, as you well know, Paul, as a solutions architect. But there is a whole different way of thinking when it comes to coding. And
that's a good thing, because I think we're all headed in that direction. And I'm going to screw up this quote, but I remember someone in DevNet telling me once, it's like standardize where you can, but develop where you must, or right?
That was...
you know, don't worry, I can't remember it on the fly
Jason,
either.
someone.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Edelman, maybe.
Let's just say Hank, because we'll just credit Hank with everything.
Right.
So final question here, can anybody apply to be part of Cisco Champions? Like if someone's watching this going, I'm social and smart, is there a way to do that? Do you know?
Anyone can apply to Cisco Champions.
Except for Cisco employees.
We work heavily through referrals.
Ah, okay.
At events like Cisco Live.
Kind of a
so
society thing.
I'm not wearing my badge anymore, but if I were, you'd see I have a black ribbon. It says Cisco Champions. There's a little trophy there. There's information and FAQs about Cisco Champions out on the Cisco communities. You know, anybody who's socially active can apply, but we like people who are consistent and who are really delivering value to their fellow technologists.
Can I pay a champion to help me appear more social? I mean, I'm just curious if that's offered as a service.
That's what we call
yet?
a side hustle.
A side hustle?
We'll discuss terms later.
I need someone wanting a side gig. Paul, thank you so much for everything you do with Cisco Champions. We do appreciate your support, helping us get message out, helping us learn and grow together. Appreciate that. Lauren, as always, I love working with you.
Thank you.
It's been a great day. It's been exciting. I think it's time for a video as we head now to the very final part of our home stretch. We'll end up with Steve in just a moment. But first, let's take a look.
Hey everyone, I'm here in DevNet Zone, perhaps the most interactive part of all of Cisco Live, and therefore one of my favorite parts as well. So let's see what they have. Now I'm here in the Sandbox with Tom. Tom, thank you so much. Tell me about what you have going on here.
So we've grown a little bit from US when last time we saw you. We had the table football here again, the IoT table football that's controlled by Raspberry Pis, and you've got a scoreboard behind now that's electrified, if you like, digitized. But we've also now got a kind of genius bar where we answer questions and support issues that we have with Sandbox in our community. And we've also got a 15-minute challenge now, where you have a collaboration, an IoT, and a network programmability challenge, and the idea is to do it in under 15 minutes.
And I see the green and red buzzer. Does it like buzz red when you don't get it right or something?
It does. It really makes people jump out of their skin, and it's quite an attention grabber.
That's awesome. And what do people win if they win the prize?
They win a huge set of Lego, and that's a daily prize that we offer out, so it'll be good for anybody to take home.
Good reason to come by.
It is.
Thanks so much, Tom.
No worries, cheers. Now I'm here with
with Matt at the Black Hat Challenge. This is new, right, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. Quite a lot of new content here in the DevNet Zone this year, one of which is the Black Hat Challenge. With the rise of IoT and all these devices that we're bringing into our homes and our businesses to, talk to and perform little functions, we kind of wanted to give a, hacker side experience of just how dangerous they can be and how insecure some of these kind of cheaper devices are. So here we have a real hacking challenge. Contestants will come up, they will try and crack the Wi-Fi, hack the router, get to the camera, download recordings of people getting into the safe, so like staff recordings, find the PIN code, and win the fedora.
So once they've done the Black Hat part of it, how do we tell them, what's our message really here? How to
Sure.
hack things?
So once you're like, oh, that was far too easy, which it really, really is, we're going to show on the other side of this challenge exactly the same scenario, but from a white hat network defender perspective. So we've got the wonderful guys from the Cisco Security BU here. They have exactly the same equipment. They're going to run exactly the same hacks and show how things like Firepower, things like Umbrella, can actually detect and mitigate these. And so if you do have these devices in your enterprise, it's good to kind of layer that security on top.
Perfect, Matt. I can't wait to do it, actually. This is so exciting to me.
Anytime.
All right, cool, thanks.
Thanks.
There's so much to do here. So you guys, I highly recommend checking out DevNet Zone at Cisco Live, or check it out online if you're not able to be here, developer.cisco.com. Thanks for watching.
Great stuff there, Lauren. Thank you so much. Great DevNet information. We have saved the best for last, I like to say. Gurdip, how are you, man?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me back.
This is the man who is in charge of all the social media that I've been constantly hounding on throughout the course of the day to get in touch with us. And Gurdip is the guy who's going to show exactly why you need to stay in touch. Talk to us about day 2 here at the show. How did it go? What did you discover?
Just, again, lots of tweets from everybody that's here, everybody that's watching remotely, sharing their experiences, sharing what they've been up to today, and how they've been missing out. So it's been fantastic.
Are they having fun? I mean, that's
always.
I think that's the main thing. Yes, we want to get information. We want to get the technology into their hands. We want to teach them. But most of all, we say, come here because it's just a good time. Are you seeing that in some of the responses here?
Definitely, most definitely. It's all about, Cisco Live is all about connecting. It's about connecting with your peers, it's your friends, colleagues. That's what the opportunity is. And then on top of that, you've got excellent content. And that's what we're seeing. That's what people are really enjoying about this year.
Absolutely. Tell us some of the numbers. Share what we got coming in the door.
Sure. So over the last 24 hours, we've probably, well, not probably, we have had just under 5,000 tweets, which is a fantastic amount. Keep those tweets coming, #Claire. And we have reached just under 5 million people with Cisco Live content. So 5 million people have been exposed to what we've been sharing through social media, and that's, again, a fantastic amount.
That is so great. Now, I asked you a couple of minutes ago, in the silence, when the other interview was going on, I'm going to ask you again here live, as long as we're on camera. What have you guys really been having fun? How big is your team, by the way? How many people do you have here in Barcelona?
So we're a team of 10.
Okay.
We're a team of 10. There's myself, my colleague Caitlin, who works with me to
give shout out to all of them.
And I have to, otherwise and then we have 3 to 4 community managers as well, who kind of like talk to you. So Richard, Karen, and Kathleen. I've got a content creator who you've probably seen going around, a guy called Frank, and he's getting all of our Facebook and Instagram photos. And we have obviously DJ Matt, DJ Claire, he is there. And then we've got also Jem, who is populating all of the content that you're seeing in the screens above social media. So all of the Twitter leaderboard contests, everything you're seeing there is being managed by a chap called Jem. So a team of 10, fantastic.
Shows you how much it takes to put this kind of messaging together. Can you share a couple of things with us out here? Can you share a couple of things that you might have seen on Facebook, Twitter, whatever's come in the door?
Sure, okay, so are we going to... There we go.
Oh, here we go. Okay. You know what? I have to do this. I'm giving away my trade secrets.
Yeah. So obviously, lots of content from Keith.
Who's the idiot in the middle there? I don't recognize
somebody
him.
in a nice shade of blue suit.
Have
must
no
be.
idea
Yeah, not you, Steve.
Stefan, thank you. Yeah, you did have a great seat there, Stefan. That's great. Hey, Corey. Thanks. Always great to show off Meraki APIs.
Again, yep.
Yeah. Lots of Meraki conversation.
Yeah, lots of tweets about Meraki.
That's great. And Rabati, hello. And best part of #Clear, meeting up with friends. Jason Goulet.
That's right. Lots of tweets from Anne, so she's giving me a lot of content as well.
That's good. Henry, Bor.
Again, yeah, from one of the sessions. So we're seeing a lot of content from the actual sessions as well. People showing how great it is.
A real-time demo.
#Firepower.
You bet. Absolutely love that. That's great. That's great. Thank you. Andrew Barnes.
And again, just they're covering on their blog what's their hair live, sharing their experience with obviously all of his followers. So yeah, and he won a prize as well. So yeah, you know, fantastic.
Oh, that's good. Congratulations to you, Andrew. And there are prizes available. You know, again, we keep telling people, make sure that you jump in. Yel Celine, 7 new ways to fail as a wireless expert.
Yeah.
Great presentation, including live demo. Good job, Stephen Heinzius. Oh, isn't that cool? Love that. So much fun. Hey, oh, is this who you mentioned last night from Australia, Colin Ellis?
That's the one, yeah. I think that has to be the winner. Of the person that's sending from the furthest.
The distance. Do we know where in Australia? I can't quite make it out here from this.
I could probably find out for you.
You should do that.
I haven't got the exact location, but we can find out, most definitely.
Yeah, because even though Sydney may be farther away, it's actually an easier flight. It's the people who are in the really remote regions.
Of course,
so look at that. That's great.
Yeah,
going back to the
fantastic
keynote,
job.
Hal, look at that. Man, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
If I look back at that pod all the way out in the middle of nowhere. So, so the words that people are hearing from you, people are excited. They're having a great time here at the show. You guys are excited as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're pumped.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks for taking the time to come in. We're going to see you again tomorrow at the very end.
Look forward to being back.
To all of you who are still with us all the way up to the end of the day, we thank you so much. Great day coming up tomorrow. 2 more innovation showcases. We are going to talk to more Cisco champions here on the show floor. We're going to continue the technology. We're going to talk a lot of IoT throughout the course of the day tomorrow. Service provider capabilities as well. Tune back into the live broadcast. However you are getting to us, we are so grateful to have you with us. It's been a phenomenal day 2 here in Barcelona. To all 12,000 of the attendees who are here at the Fira with us, we thank you for your time, your energy, your excitement. Have a great night. We will see you tomorrow right here from Barcelona. Take care.